You're looking at the world's largest single-story building, the Vehicle Assembly Building at Kennedy Space Center, known as the VAB. It was constructed in the 1960s for the Apollo moon project and designed to stack up to 4 Saturn V vehicles. This model shows that there are two main entrances where rocket parts come in horizontally and four tall doors where completed vehicles roll out to a launch pad on a mobile launcher. You could run out of words to describe how big this building is. There are many taller skyscrapers, but the VAB is big in all directions and has several times the interior space of something like the Empire State Building. Because the area is flat, the VAB is a reference point like a mountain, which can be seen from miles away and is the largest thing around. That was from about 5 miles away. Here's a view from the city of Titusville, about 10 miles away, where you can see the open doors, and you can see it from a cruise ship out in the water about 15 miles away, although maybe most of the partying people didn't notice it. We did a video about some of the large cranes that you find in a spaceport without mentioning that the high bays in the VAB are the tallest of them all. We're looking at something on the floor which is attached to a cable that is being pulled by a crane that is way, way up. And you'll also notice that the door is made out of several sections that can open independently and take several minutes to go all the way up to the top to be fully open. So the bridge crane up there also has a cab which is about 150 meters off the ground. So if you want a job there, you better not be afraid of heights. You can also find the inside of the building on Google Maps if you drag the little Street View icon inside the building. So we'll pick ourselves up and lower ourselves into High Bay 2. This was taken back in 2012, not long after the end of the shuttle program, and the orbiter Endeavour is still in the bay there instead of being in a museum in California. They say those red elevators over there are some of the fastest rides in the state of Florida. You can also see where there are lots of walkways and there are some platforms that are at different levels. We'll pull ourselves up here into the transfer aisle, and what you see here is a different vehicle. This is the Atlantis, which is now in the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Center and appears to be missing part of its nose. But you can see a lot of the structure in here, and if you ever go to the Visitor Center, you'll see what seems to be familiar. But this is an Apollo vehicle being stacked into a bay and the platforms closing around it. So then they have to lift the second stage from the transfer aisle and lower it into the bay on top within a fraction of an inch. Then there's another third stage that they lift and put in place. You can also see some information at different spots about how big the building is and some of the details of it. After many years supporting the Apollo and shuttle programs, the VAB is now the home to the Space Launch System rocket, which is used for the Artemis program that will bring people back to the moon and maybe to Mars. We'll close with a picture from 1964 where you cannot see the thousands of piles that support the foundation, but you can see all the support which was needed to keep the building strong enough to withstand hurricane force winds.